What is up, guys? We have some special guests on. Jen and Jazz from Knicks Omnifan.
Woo,
Hey, thank you for
hey!
having us.
We're so excited to
Yeah,
be on your show. Look at you.
I know. Always representing.
That's
Yes,
right, always.
as
Wouldn't have it
usual.
any other way.
Wanna, start by, telling them a little about yourself and that and what your events are like. I know they're amazing. There's nothing
Thank
like an
you.
Omnifan event.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, so Omnifan is a company that Jen and I started together, as diehard Knicks fans.
Mhm.
We wanted to bring Knicks fans a platform that they can use to connect with each other and so that we can provide entertainment and then ultimately reward Knicks fans for connecting with each other and just being involved. So we have an app that's in development that'll be ready for release early next year. We have our merch that's available on our website.
Gotta talk.
Mentioned we host different types of virtual events. We had
The
a
draft party.
party and a draft party
Yep.
that were all very successful, and we're expanding. With in the age of Corona, we have to get creative. So
Absolutely.
we have lots of other things in the works, and yeah, we're happy to bring them to you guys, and yeah, we're it's our pleasure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so go check them out. They're probably having an opening night party if you want to join
Are.
We will be in the
on the
schedule.
23rd
That's
Let's
right.
go.
You
Good
got it.
forecasting, Luke.
Indiana. Talking about that, how'd you react to this schedule of what we've heard about opening night and preseason?
Well, I guess I'll.
Yeah, you
I
can
can
start.
take it.
Sure.
Well, I know that we're playing. I know not all the teams. I believe they can choose between. They have to play a minimum of 2 games. But I'm glad that the Knicks are playing the 4 preseason games because without the summer league
And being a young team,
right,
you
and
know.
being a young team, we need every single practice game that we can
Right.
get
Of
in there.
course.
So happy with that, and yeah,
Yeah.
can't wait.
Can't wait.
Yeah,
Kind of surprised that the season is. Well, actually, you know what? Let's just see if the season starts actually on the 23rd, because I don't know if you heard yesterday, they just diagnosed lots of players with corona.
yeah, I heard.
So we'll see if that even is the actual date, the actual start date of the season. But I'm excited.
We're hopeful.
I hope that it is the start date. I hope that they, I think there's enough time at least between now and the beginning of the actual season. Preseason, I don't know, it's a little murky.
Right.
But hopefully they'll be able to, quarantine everybody, and everybody will get better by the start of the season, because we just can't wait. We can't
I know.
wait.
Yeah, we can't wait for Knicks basketball. So, how'd you guys feel about what we've been hearing about? Today was the last couple of days has been media day. RJ,
Yes.
Obi Toppin,
Mhm.
Kevin Knox has spoke. Dennis Smith Jr. Quickly, Burks, Rivers,
Yeah.
Noel, all of them, they spoke.
Right.
Yeah.
Not Randall and not Randall, Frank, and Mitch from
You're
I
right.
know
Yep.
haven't
Those
speak.
are the ones we haven't heard from yet. You're
Yeah.
right.
I wonder what's gonna come up if Randall is gonna speak. Do they have something covered? Like a trade planned? I don't know.
Well, as
What
of
you
right
guys
now,
know?
they haven't. As of right now, there have not been any, at least any trade talks that have been made public. Of course, there's always speculation,
Right.
but as of right now, it looks like Julius Randle will be
Part
a
of the
main
team.
part of the team, a main, offensive force, as he has been from last season.
Yeah, I believe he's our highest paid player, right?
He's our highest paid player, and he's also our highest scoring player right now. So, we. So
It's true,
I
though.
think Julius Randle is, at least right now, gonna stay put. We'll see what happens later on in the season, though. Who knows?
But hey, we're loyal Knicks fans. We
Absolutely.
can
That's
get through
right.
this season.
That's
That's
right.
right. As long as they have on a Nick jersey, they our support is there.
I'm rooting. We're
That's
rooting.
right.
Even no matter what our opinions are in that, we're still no. I know lots of people are like, "Oh, you're criticizing Julius Randle and that." We sort of are. We're not criticizing. We're just saying like what the team could do in that. Us as fans of the team, we support the team, but that
Absolutely.
doesn't mean we can't. If like the Knicks make a bad trade in that, we're gonna call them out. But
Period.
we're
Exactly.
supporting Julius Randle still. I want to still
Absolutely.
see him the best in that, you know.
Right,
You know, we
absolutely. Like,
understand. I mean, yeah,
we want Julius to ball out.
absolutely.
We
Of
want him to have
course.
his, his best season so far. But as New York fans, we are a smart fan base, and so like you said, we call it out as we see it,
Absolutely.
and we're very opinionated, New Yorkers, and that's that comes along with it.
Yeah, that's part of the territory
Of
playing for New
course.
York. I think Julius Randle does have a thick skin. He's a veteran. It's not the first time he's been criticized. I'm
In
sure even
LA.
at his stage in his
Mhm.
career can improve. I'm sure he's looked at film from last season and was probably horrified by the turnovers, especially down in the paint. We all know
Right.
about that. We're not going to get into the specifics, but I'm sure he's not above criticism, and nobody
Right.
is. If
Right.
you're still living, you're learning, and that's just a fact.
Right.
How do you feel about the RJ press conference for media day and that?
Well, I thought, as usual, RJ is just a true professional. You
That's
could
so
tell that he
yeah.
is going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder this season. He was very, upset, even though he was visibly upset, but I think he was even more upset on the inside than what he
Yeah,
even
you
showed.
can tell it was like,
It was
coming
really
radiating
eating
through
at
him.
him. Yeah, it was eating away at him that he didn't get chosen for the all rookie team, and he's going to be coming out playing with a fire that we didn't see probably in college or his first season. I think we're going to see huge things from RJ, and he's continuing to mature. He already came into the league mature,
Sure.
but
Mhm.
he's rising to the occasion. I think we're going to see big things from RJ. He's playing like a man, with reckless abandon.
Yep. Yeah, I feel RJ is gonna have a great season, and also Obi. I feel under Coach Tibbs, his defense in that Obi Toppin, his defense is not the best. So let's
Right.
say that in that.
It's true.
But
It's
true.
Coach
Facts are facts.
Tibbs, I feel will get him right because Coach Tibbs, he is great with defenders and that, and Obi Toppin even has embraced Coach Tibbs in that, and
Yep.
I think that by February or March in that, I feel he will be playing in clutch moments in that, and he'll be on like the guards on like the best offensive player in that.
I hope so too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Those are just
Obi,
my
yeah, no, his potential is like, limitless, really. And if he can just nail down that defense and really, get in position and
get super anchored. He needs to just stay on his feet. You know what I'm saying? Stay solid.
Then
he's gonna be
a lethal player in this league.
Lethal. Because
and
offensively,
rookie of the year maybe.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely.
And I know we also on the press conference that he had the top score in the conditioning test. I mean, come on, that says a lot.
That says a lot. That says a lot about that heart and his desire to be the best. He's not okay with being mediocre. He wants to be at the top, and that's what New York is all about. We used to have the bragging rights, from back in the day, and we are looking to regain that.
That's right.
And I think so far we've put together a group of guys that really want to play for New York, and that's key.
Right.
We have guys that are stepping up to the plate, up for the challenge, and they want to make New York great again, for lack of a better phrase.
No politics involved,
At all.
Yeah, so I feel that Obi Toppin will get right by Coach Tibbs. And what do you see of Mitchell Robinson this season? I don't know. Nerlens Noel maybe could help him, but I feel, in my opinion, I think that we should bring in like a mentor guy, like a Tyson Chandler or something for Obi and Mitch this coming season.
I mean, that wouldn't be a bad idea to bring in a more senior center power forward combo. But I don't know if Tyson Chandler is necessarily the guy for the job. His roots are really planted, down out in the West.
And when he left, he didn't have necessarily the best of things to say about the Knicks when he left. So he can stay on. But I definitely agree with your sentiment, though, of having, a vet there. And I think that, but that's what Taj Gibson's role was supposed to be last season. I mean,
he's Fort Greene all day. Don't get me wrong, Luke. Okay, we're from Fort Greene. He's from Fort Greene.
Fort Greene represents.
Taj.
But no, Mitch. I think we all know that Mitch has been working on his 3-point shot.
Yep.
Yes, he
We've
has though.
all
He has
seen the
been.
videos, from during the off season, and I think Mitch is going to have his best season so far because he's definitely been looking to expand his offensive game. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I feel that coming into this season, I feel that RJ, Obi, and maybe Mitch could have a breakout season. Well, Obi Obi more of like a rookie, like a thing to tell them that you're sold on Obi Toppin in that. Also, what are your thoughts on Nerns Noel? Like we heard him speak in that, and I feel that I'm a fan of Noel. I like him. I don't know what's his role gonna be with Amari Spellman. Don't forget about him. We haven't heard him speak yet.
Right.
Amari Spellman, who definitely should be a guy for the future, not, and Mitchell Robinson. I don't want to say like, oh, he needs to get out. No, I think that they need to find some way, because I think that Noel can be a great mentor towards those players in that. It's just the biggest question is he going to be fine not playing in that, and is he just going to be fine sitting on the bench of a season? Let's be honest, the Knicks, unless they shock the world, aren't going to be the best team this year.
Facts.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well,
I
mean,
agree.
I think he's going to be coming off the bench. I think that Mitch needs to be our starting center.
Oh yeah, by far,
for sure,
without a doubt. But I think that he's comfortable. Coming off the bench because he's been coming off the bench,
and he's solid. He's a solid off the bench player. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to come in. He has his few years of experience over these guys. And I think he's going to be able to bring, a solid foundation. It's a solid place for them to learn from. Do I see him on the team long term? No. But I think that he's a good role player. And I think that we got a minimal risk contract with him. And a lot of these guys that we signed this season, they've been, for smaller amounts of money. Mm-hmm. And then we have a lot of contracts. So I think that we're going to be in a good position just to continue growing. We don't know what's going to happen after this season, who's going to still be on the team, but at least right now, like I said, we have a group of guys that want to play for the Knicks. And when you want to be at your job, that's when you perform the best. So I think we're at a great starting point.
Yeah, I think in terms of Noel, his role, we don't have as many centers as we do, let's say, the point guards, right? The guard situation. Now that's how the lineups play out and who actually gets playing time, because I want to see, I hope that we get to see a little bit of everybody, so that as fans, I know the coaches, they see everything behind the scenes, right? But as fans, we want to see what everybody has, what they've been working on, how they've improved. So the guard position is going to be a fun one to watch, to see how it plays out.
Agreed. But I think we're going to be dropping a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys are not making the team. You know what I'm saying? And so I think we'll be left with hopefully a solid core. I mean, already we have a solid core, because I feel like DSJ is going to have a breakout season.
I hope he stays. I hope he doesn't get traded.
We're DSJ all day.
No. Yes. He had a rough season last season. He was going through family stuff and but I know, I feel, because we have the Knicks curse. Every time we trade somebody away, they go and ball out. Who was
projected to be like a game changer at their position? They end up either getting injured or having a bad season. They get traded, Knicks, and then they go out and ball out on another team. And that's what will happen with DSJ, because he has the athletic ability. He has the talent, but he just was not mentally there last season. Understandably so. He had a number of things happen personally, and I understand that. Granted, it's a business, but I'm glad that at least for now, it seems that the Knicks have seen improvement in him over the summer. They see a desire to I'm sure, to win. He doesn't have a loser's mentality. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm DSJ all day. Yes, I want him to earn. I want him to earn. I want him to earn that starting spot, because I think he has that in him. That's the player that he is. Now I'm down. I want to see Frank's growth. You know what I'm saying? And we have lots of new guys. I mean, Emmanuel. I want to see him do something.
Now, it would be,
Oh,
I hope he gets enough playing time because,
Yeah.
typically
yeah.
the Knicks, it doesn't matter what coach we have, the rookies don't get as much play as they should. Like last
That's
season,
true.
it made no
Yeah.
sense why he didn't get any playing time. It just made no sense.
Yeah, that's true.
None
So,
whatsoever. Same
I
thing with Dot. I mean, he kind of started off.
mhm.
He kind of got a little inconsistent, so I guess I can maybe see where he kind of fell off a little bit. But he's young. You gotta continue to play these guys. We were not going to be in contention. We could tell that we weren't going to be in playoff contention. Last
Right. Well,
season.
why
And
not give
play
him a
them.
shot? Why not
Absolutely
give him a
not.
shot? Yeah,
Play
it just
them.
made no sense. It made no sense to me. But I hope that we get to see a good amount of Emmanuel because I think he has a lot of good stuff to bring to the
Yeah,
team.
me too. And I like his poise too. He seems like he's ready
Yeah,
for the NBA.
the mature,
I
his
love.
maturity level is there.
I loved his press day interview. He was great. He was great.
Yep. Do you think that the Knicks will be in at least a play-in tournament this year, which is like a 9th, 10th seed in the East?
I think it's
There's
possible.
potential. There's
I think
potential.
it's possible if we gel. If see that's I think like kind of like the X factor.
Yeah.
If we can gel together as a team and get that chemistry together, anything is possible. I mean, we've seen young teams do big things, out of nowhere. So we could be that sleeper out
Memphis,
in the East. You know what I'm
OKC.
saying? We
Right.
just don't know. But I think it's possible. I think anything's possible. Shoot, anything is possible.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course. Yeah. I think that, to be honest, I think maybe if it all depends on Obi, RJ, and Mitch. If
Absolutely.
they
Absolutely.
all
That's
have
for
good
sure. Yep.
seasons, then there's totally they can be a 10 spot. It's not a long shot,
It's not.
but I think this year we should go in with some little low of expectations and see.
Right. We should kind of like expect the best. What is it? Expect the worst, hope for the best.
Right. Exactly.
Because
Because as Knicks fans, we always tend to do the opposite.
right, we're like, woo, it's this
New
our
season,
year.
right? But it is a new season, though. It is a new season. We have new management, we have new players, and I finally feel like we're on the right track. I mean,
Me
we've been
too.
saying this for 20 years, but I
No,
I
it's a
really do
culture
feel like we
change.
are on the right track now.
I mean, specifically because listen, Steve Mills, all due respect, but sorry you had to go. You were there for lots of bad
Bad moves.
seasons. And unfortunately, you had to go. And fortunately, now we have a new team in here that has much better player
Coach
relations. You know
Tibbs.
what I'm saying? They're coming from a different
And much more
headspace.
respected. Like,
Yeah, much
Leon
more
Rose, I
respected.
mean, come on, you say his
Worldwide
name and that
West.
name holds
Yes,
weight.
Worldwide West. I mean, come
Right.
on. Kenny from Kentucky. I mean, let's talk about
Of
that.
course.
The Kentucky
Connection.
connection down that we have on the squad now. That's like 5 players plus a coach that are like from Kentucky, I believe.
Yeah, hopefully that helps Kevin Knox out. Hopefully
Oh.
he'll feel right at home with all the Kentucky players.
Luke. No, I mean, you know what? Kev's is one of those players who I know has a lot of potential. We've seen
Yeah.
it in action, you know
Yeah,
what I'm
we
saying?
have.
But there's just too few and far in between. We need more consistency. We need more aggression. We need him to be confident when he touches the court. So I think we'll see a little bit more of that. He seemed pretty, I would say, he seemed like he matured a little bit from his press conference. So I was happy to see him not get flustered by some of the questions that were thrown at him. He didn't get flustered. He didn't look weak at all. And I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel when it comes to Kevin Knox, well, I heard today's press conference, he seemed definitely changed. But until he goes out there on the court and
Absolutely.
shows his demeanor toward and his effort out there on the court, then
said the key word, effort.
my biggest problem it wasn't about his stats. It wasn't about that. It was his effort, and did he really seem to care?
It was just
That's
a little bit
one
more
thing.
Yeah,
lackadaisical
it's low
than you
energy.
wanted.
He a
Yeah,
little
low
energy. Low energy. We want
We want
that
explosiveness.
Right.
We want passion every
Right.
time. Even if you're not doing well offensively, do something. Do
On
the
the
intangibles.
defense.
Get some blocks. Make some assists. Get some
Get your feet
rebounds.
planted. Take a charge.
Take a charge. Something. Those are
I
the intangibles.
I feel that David Fizdale, I feel he demotivated him. Like, if some people post it, but remember that game against Milwaukee? It was like one of Fizdale's last games, and we got blew out by 40. Like you
I
just
never
saw him
forget.
smiling. You saw him like,
Oh my
Ooh,
God,
yeah, that was
I
embarrassing.
remember that. We were like,
That was
look.
embarrassing.
I couldn't believe we were like, look at him smiling. We were like, his
when
days
you're
are
down
numbered.
by 40.
Yeah.
That basically summed up last year. It's not totally about wins and losses, and not totally about stats. It's about do these people even care if they're down by 40
Right.
or
Exactly.
something?
It's about some
Like you
pride.
saw that game, you saw Mike Boonholzer yelling at Giannis after he misses one shot. Well, David Fizzo, Bobby Force airballs a shot, laughing at him and smiling.
Ridiculous.
I know
And
Coach
there's a
Fizz
reason why
ain't
he's
gonna
not
do
You know,
that.
he wasn't right. He wasn't right for New York. He wasn't, right for
He's
the
a
Knicks.
Cali boy. Man, what's
Perhaps.
been with
He
him
just
in the
wasn't right for our team.
hair?
Let's just say
Right.
that.
Have
You
you
see
been
us-
seeing him on ESPN recently?
I was gonna say, did you see his
He now
Worthy
got
afro?
afro.
Yes. He switched it up.
He switched it up. He's going through, I don't know. He's trying to relive his youth, I guess. I didn't even know he could grow all that hair.
Right. Who knew?
He's like, he's trying to turn to like this cool guy or something.
Yeah,
Right.
I was like, okay, but
Like the hipster.
he better not do the braids after this. That's all I have
Oh
to say.
my
No, he's never getting a head coaching job after that.
Ever again.
Right.
What's been with like he had like a full he had no like hair that now he got like a half.
I know.
I know,
Who
like
knew he could even grow hair? Maybe there
That
was
way
like some
really
chia,
changed him.
like a chia pet.
New York kept him low in that. LA made him, you know.
Well, you know
He's
what
living
they
the
say,
wild
like,
side
you know,
up.
New York takes a toll on you. You get bags on your eyes, you go bald, start graying. So now that he left New York, you know, he's
Money in the
flourishing.
Cali sunshine, you know.
Exactly. He's flourishing again. It was the sun, the California sun.
Right.
Yep. Do you think he'll ever get a job again? I don't think he would.
I think so.
I think so.
If not on the the professional scale, definitely collegiate. I mean, he's another one who I think is respected. I don't know how seriously people will take him because he has.
Do you remember when he was first hired?
Well, yeah,
everybody was like,
everybody
"Oh,
loves
he's the
him.
players' coach, and oh, he's so great." And,
I know, but he
and
has
even
like,
LeBron was, you know, singing his praises.
No, I do remember. We were excited.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, guys like him. He's respected.
Yeah.
But
We
just in
got
terms of
culture change.
Right, culture, right, exactly.
right,
And we were
right.
on board for it. We were like,
we
yes.
were on board, but see, the whole thing is that you have to start from the inside out, and see, that was a little bit too surface. The problem was beyond the coach. You had to go into the front office way deeper. And
Right.
Steve
And
Mills,
James Dolan.
sorry, he had to go.
Yeah.
Do you think James Dolan's ownership affects the Knicks? And like, I know like it does, definitely, but how much do you think it affects the Knicks? And do you think the Knicks could win under James Dolan in that?
So
I don't think so.
I think that they
Yeah.
can.
I think we can.
I think that we can. And you know what?
Like the
What's
playoffs.
interesting? Yeah, I know what you mean. What's interesting though is that that's public opinion, because when you ask people inside the organization, they have nothing negative to say about the guy.
Even former players, you know, they
say he's right. They praise him in a way.
Except
And
Kenyon
pretty
Martin.
much except who? Except Oak, of course. And who else?
And Kenyon Martin.
Oh
Martin.
yes.
Okay.
I have heard. About
I mean,
that.
nobody's gonna like everybody. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm sure that he can have some clashes with people. I mean, there are certain things that he has said and done that I don't necessarily agree with. However, when it comes to him being the owner of this organization, I do feel that he lets the professionals who are hired to do their jobs for the most part. Like most of these front office guys will say, Dolan, he just pretty much cuts the check.
Right.
You know, he lets them do what they do.
Where he went wrong in previous years was just bringing in the wrong staff. You know, because he said in press conferences, like, listen, he doesn't know,
He's not a
all the best,
guy.
basketball moves to make, but he's like, I'm going to let these professionals, the experts do, what they're supposed to do. And he brought in the wrong experts.
Right.
So that's where he went wrong. But
he went
one
wrong,
of the ways.
Right, that's one of the ways. I think the other way that he has gone wrong, and just in terms of public opinion, is just the way he's handled, the criticism that he's received.
Right.
I don't feel like you should just go banning people from the
From
guard.
MSG.
It's just that's
Absolutely not.
I mean,
ridiculous
come on,
to
the
me.
Spike
But
Lee situation was. I mean,
it was
That
crazy.
was
It was a
weird.
circus. It was a
Yeah.
circus. However, I'm not saying that people shouldn't have gripes with the way he moves, but he's just handled it terribly. It just in terms of the
Of
PR
course.
from a PR standpoint, it's just been like, ooh, a terrible handling.
Right.
But
Yep.
basketball wise, he lets them do their jobs. He lets the people in
Yeah.
the front office do their jobs. So
Yep.
I think it's unfortunate that people don't want to come to the Knicks because of all the James Dolan rumors.
Although
Yeah.
that's a rumor too. We don't actually know that to be true.
That's true too.
You
That's
know?
a good point. But I think that's been discussed amongst. I've read a couple of interviews where players have named Dolan as a reason why they didn't want to come to the Knicks, or just because of the controversy that surrounded him.
He's very opinionated when it comes to players. When it comes to the Knicks fans, all of us we're
Yeah.
either like it sort of is what it is, and we sort of don't like him, but we sort of live with him, and it might not be the end of the world. And then there's the people that go they're the full on Dolan ranters,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
it's usually when it comes to the younger Knick fans, I can tell it's
Mhm.
mostly pointing towards the player or the coach or the
Yeah, that's
front
that's a
office.
distinction that you just made.
Mhm.
And when it comes to the older Knick fan, it's
Mhm.
pointing towards Dolan
Dolan.
immediately.
It's
Right.
so true, because you know why? Because the older Knicks fans know the history of just about who he's put in positions of power, and
Right.
that was the problem that we had for a very long
Yes.
time. I mean, the front office, the entire early 2000s up until we just got rid of Steve James,
Yeah.
we already know
I mean,
what
tons of bad moves. Tons.
Tons.
I mean, it's too many to count.
too many to count, and that's unfortunately why older Knicks fans
Blame
feel that
him.
way
Yeah.
or blame him.
Of
Even if
course.
it might be slightly misdirected, he does have to assume some of the blame just because
As
he's the
team
one
owner.
he's hiring. He's
Right.
hiring these people.
Right.
So yeah, but I don't think that it should affect this season. I think that if anything, there should be a renewed faith in that he's trying to do the right thing by putting the right people in the right seats.
Except Steve Stout. Let's be honest. Steve Stout, I don't get when he came on and started backlashing Mike Miller and that. Mike Miller wasn't the best fit. All up to Coach Miller in that, of course.
Of course.
Mhm.
But
Respect.
but you don't bash a coach in the middle of the
No, I don't
season.
agree with that either.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, bashing anybody who put in tireless hours, who helped to try to get this team to play cohesive basketball.
It's crazy. And
that's-
okay, from when Mike Miller took over, I mean, there was a vast improvement. We
Absolutely.
all know the memes.
But you know what? Was that a direct quote?
Yeah.
Luke, did you hear him actually say that? Did you actually hear him speak ill of Mike Miller, or was that just a report?
I didn't hear him speak ill of Mike Miller, but he said we're gonna get a new coach or something. He said something along the lines of a new coach in that
Okay.
first
So
tape
threw him under the
interview.
bus,
Yeah, kind of like, okay, you're like, yeah,
Like,
basically
all right,
already
later
let
for
him
you.
know, like, you're
He
you're
never
done.
mentioned Mike Miller, but
Just
you
name.
knew
Okay.
what that means.
We know,
When
right,
it
right,
comes
right.
to the Knicks, it's like a sixth sense of view.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that might have even been taken a little bit out of context. However, of course, when you read between the lines and
You
you
have to
analyze
have
things,
tact, though.
but you do have to have tact, especially working in New York. The media will take one thing that you
And
say
run
and
with
run
it.
with it and turn a whole story
Okay.
out.
Media frenzy.
So he has to be careful how he words things. I think that was also probably done a little strategically to get a little buzz, because being a little controversial is kind of like what some of these guys do. So but just from a fan standpoint, we don't want to see anybody bash somebody who came in with the utmost, good intentions and got these guys to perform. So just has to watch what he says a little bit more.
Yeah, I feel that when it comes to someone like Steve Stout, he needs to stick to what he is good at in that,
Of course.
and they need to let Leon Rose,
Mhm.
a little World Wide West, and Coach Thibodeau on the front. which I feel that you can tell that Leon Rose, like, he lets Thibodeau do what he does. And for the first time in a while, I feel like a problem is job security in the Knicks organization. When it like in 2019, like it was like hey, the whole pressure was you have to chase after stars or you're losing your job. And I feel that I feel that for Fizz that was lots of pressure. No, this is not taking blame off Fizz, but that was lots of pressure. The year before that was Jeff Hornacek getting saying, like they said, like you're probably gonna lose your job at the end of the season. And that happened. And the year before that, it was the whole Mellow Phil thing, and that was a mess.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you have to have a thick skin
stability
to be an NBA coach, and more or less an NBA coach in New York. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have a thick skin. You have to be prepared for that. And
let's just be honest though. The reason why the Knicks didn't do well last season wasn't entirely
Only
David Fizdale's fault.
Absolutely,
the guys were not giving
no.
100% effort on many nights. More nights than not, they were not giving effort that was needed to win. So yes, Fizz. I mean, his rotations were a hot mess. He started.
He wasn't.
He
right.
was like losing it at the end.
You know,
But
it
was not all his fault. The guys. If you're not making shots,
right? If you can't even, right? If you can't make a free throw, and I mean, and I know that they're going through these drills in practice, like
it's not Fizz's fault. He cannot actually put the ball in the basket. You know what I'm saying? So the guys have to do their part, but putting the right
coach has to motivate.
He has to motivate, and he has to make them better.
Right.
And he clearly wasn't doing that. So on to the next.
Right.
That's such a big thing. Like it's like on to the next.
It's life.
But like I know it's New York and that, but like in the at least like remember that era of Mike Woodson that like even though he had a couple like even after when he underperformed in the 2013 playoffs and that, though we were totally relevant at the time and it's a very different thing, but like also that time when we played Miami in the first round, we got first round outed again.
Right.
The Knicks could have easily been like, "You're out," and they could have been like, "You're out," and that's it. But I feel that no, it's not like you can't move on from coaches and that. There just has to be more job security in that, and if you're gonna tell someone that they're gonna leave in that, tell them after the season is over. Don't have them waiting there and do it in a like a proper way.
Yeah, professional.
Do it when the season is over, not like and don't leak rumors. Don't even say anything when you're in the season because I feel that creates drama in the locker room. Then, the coach he feels like he's like tangled up, like his face is pointing down on the tree and it's like, it's like, oh my god, like every single game, it's like, is this it? Is this it?
Right.
Yeah, because you definitely don't want to have a culture of being known to just one and out. Like you don't want to be known for having that culture.
Right. However, being that we're in the market that we're in, being the most profitable franchise in basketball,
and not doing good,
we have a responsibility to maintain a certain standard. And unfortunately, coaches over the years, they've been given, I feel most times ample time to
a fair chance
with the roster.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I agree. A fair chance,
exactly. And in the Woodson case, I mean, he did what he could do. It wasn't right for that time. Like even the players on the roster that year, we knew they were going to be one and done. Like these are all like old vets that signed like these 1-year contracts, and we made a good push for it. But that again wasn't the squad that was going to win it all. They probably wouldn't have made it. Just over injuries alone would have taken us out of the runnings. But in terms of job security on a whole in New York, like I said, there is a lot of pressure. We're a big, huge market team. And no, we don't want to start the culture of, or continue the culture of, fearing your job, being fired from, underperforming one night. But I don't truly think that's the case. I feel like we've been giving these coaches ample time to try to work with it. And if not, you got to go. And last season was, kind of unique in that we had an interim takeover midway. But I think that was absolutely necessary. I don't think we could go another game with David Fizdale.
In a perfect world, yes, you can make all the firings, during the off season. But
right, in a perfect world, yeah, that would be great. But I think the organization just had to see. Hold up, is this really who's the problem here? Is it David Fizdale or these guys? Because
and it was both,
and it was both, but it was clearly. Well, it was both, but I think
clearly they knew this guy is not motivating them. He's not making them better at all. The job.
And so,
to laugh, like you said, to laugh when we're down 40. I mean, come on.
That's it. Yeah, that's like a slap in the face to anybody who hired him.
That wasn't the only 30+ loss.
I don't blame the Knicks for firing David Fizdale in season. I'm just saying if you're gonna I feel that. I'm just mentioning that topic and that. Though the Knicks needed to change. They had like the knife to their face. They had to go right at it and fire him. Like you saw like that 40-point game, like nothing was gonna turn around from there. Nothing was gonna get at least a little better.
No, exactly.
And I feel that
exactly.
And especially after that Denver game, that was like very beyond unmotivating. And no, I'm not saying the Knicks that was the right decision for the Knicks to fire Fizdale. Definitely, he needs to get out. I'm just saying I'm just saying like if you were gonna fire him, I feel like you should have done it in a quieter manner in that, and you shouldn't have
I would agree with that 100%. There's a more professional way to go about it, especially knowing that you're in the media circus that is New York. I agree with that 100%.
Like you said, they have to be more professional. They have to be more careful with the leaks, and because like it does affect.
It affects the player. It affects the players also, though,
because they don't know.
Happens. Exactly.
Like, oh, is this going to be my coach? If not,
because it says something to the culture of the organization with how they handle conflict, how they handle firings, signings, all these types of things. So that's a good point, Luke.
It's one thing if like pretend like the GM and the president and James Stone, Steve Mills and Scott Perry kept it private, and they said is what they planned for it, but to go out into the media, and how that was bizarre when Steve Mills, after we went 2-8, prematurely went out there and fired David Fizdale. That was basically saying you're fired. It was just prematurely, and if you were gonna.
I remember that. I remember when that whole thing was
what I would do if I was Steve Mills in that case was I would have told Dave Fizdale right after the game, you're fired. No ifs, ands, buts in that, of course.
Instead of drawing it out,
having the press conference,
so ridiculous.
I remember
then
that.
After the next day, you could come out and make a press conference like in a professional way.
Exactly. That's the way you're supposed to do it.
That was my big problem. Like, it's not about changing coaches in the middle of the season is the problem. But like pretend like you told and if you told Mike Miller like you have an open shot where we're gonna no matter what you even thought that was he gonna be the coach after season, did you even want him to? You just said you have the keys in that.
Give you a shot.
Right.
We're gonna give you a shot. There's gonna be no talk about next season until after the season. And
agreed.
And they can talk all they want about next season, just keeping the front office in the way. That's how it should be. And if you're in and I feel the Knicks did sort of a good job at that. They didn't get into the press in that, like they didn't go have press conferences in that. at the end of the season that well, that was also sort of part of COVID and that but
True.
what they could have done was kept it more quiet. That has definitely been the thing, and I feel that that matters a lot. And I feel that for one season, we need to get away from the rumors. We need to get away from job security and that. We need to just focus on it and just focus on games and that because for the last for the last 7 years,
Mhm.
there hasn't been one season where we haven't had a rumor or job security.
Of course,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, but I
That
think
always
there's always
happens when
gonna
you're
be,
down.
and there's fake news out there too. I mean, come on,
Of
all the
course.
reports about, oh, Kevin Durant is coming to the Knicks. He's narrowed down his choices with his top 2 spots. It was all fake. Kevin Durant said that was never. He said, I don't even know where they even got that because I was
Exactly.
never coming to the Knicks.
Exactly.
So
Um
people put fake news out there, and then
They're just
people
rumors.
run with
It's
it.
the rumor
Rumor
mill.
mill.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? This is
yeah,
the cycle that we go through
but
as Knicks fans because when you're down, you're an easy target, and so that's kind of what's been, that's been the
I
Knicks has
know.
been like, the laughing stock of the NBA. Like we're
Mhm.
like the easy kid to pick on, but ultimately, I think that the people that are here in the front office,
We'll keep it quiet
I
if
think that's
anything
what
happens.
changed the culture of the players thinking as well because we're not we're not being hasty. We're not making hasty decisions. We're investing at this point. We're not getting rid of our young players because they had one bad season or they didn't, live up to their full potential. If that was the case, Kevin Knox and Frank Ntilikina would have been out of here.
Mhm.
I think that granted, I think that if Steve Mills was still
If the
here,
right,
they might have been out.
well, and even with the right
But
trade opportunity, they might. I think Kevin Knox and Frank Ntilikina might have been included in a trade package for the right,
they
For
might
for
have
like
the
been
right
Russell
definitely,
Westbrook.
opportunity.
absolutely, absolutely. But
Yeah,
Um
I, but they're still valuable. They still have so
value.
much room to
Absolutely.
grow, And I think
yeah,
that with
I
these
feel
people here, they'll ensure that.
yeah, the biggest thing is in the off season say what you want in that. But there like and if like there was a Katie rumor in that, you should say, oh, um that we that we if this is in the off season then you just stay quiet in that. But if this is in the season you say we're not focusing on next season yet. We're
Mhm.
gonna continue to focus on doing our best to
This
develop
season.
the players. That's what was said.
Yeah,
And we're gonna go from there.
yeah,
That's
that's what they say.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the
That's
Knicks.
been the sentiment of. I mean, especially with this, our new culture change. That's been kind of like what everybody's echoing
Yeah, I feel
throughout
like
the
they've been pretty
organization.
tight-lipped.
They've been tight-lipped.
They've been letting
Nobody's
the moves speak for
and
themselves.
they've been baiting them in these interviews and they don't take the bait, which
Mhm.
I appreciate, and that shows maturity. It shows cohesion within the organization, that
Mhm.
everybody's on the same page. We all have an understanding of how we're going to handle the media, how we're going to handle certain kinds of questions. We're not going to feed into it. And I think generally though, with the exception of a few super uh, like the players like not Russell
Russell
Westbrook,
Westbrook.
and the
I want
Kyrie, like they like to say certain things
Mhm.
that are sensational, but for the most part I feel like we have a group of guys that are humble right now. They're not
Agreed.
trying to be feeding the rumor mill, and they're gonna just
yep.
keep their heads down and get to work. That's what I feel overall with this team right now.
I feel that when it comes, I wanted Russell Westbrook. I think
We did
that
too. We had warmed up to the idea as well.
what are your thoughts on a trade? The Wizards didn't really give up that much, though John Wall
John
is
Wall
good in
and a
that.
first round pick.
But like I feel the Knicks could have pulled the trigger in that on a trade. Like you give up like one of those Dallas picks and you could have gave up you wouldn't have to give up RJ Mitch or Obi. I think
No,
you
they were
could have gave
non-negotiables
up
anyway for the Knicks.
I think you could have gave up I know people are gonna be like, no, but Knox Randall and 2 picks, I think that
I
It
would.
wouldn't
though
have been a
John
bad.
Wall's
That wouldn't have
I
been a
wouldn't have
bad.
been mad at
That would
that
not have been a
package. I
bad
wouldn't have been
I
mad at
package.
wouldn't
that
be
package.
surprised totally. Um though Julius Randle, it's like that's but like I think that if you gave him 2 picks compared to what I think they could care less about if they got John Wall in that. If you just gave him 2 first-round picks, they'd be like, okay.
Well, guess what? We'll never know.
Right. We'll never know.
Because at the end of the day,
It wasn't
it
meant
wasn't
to
it
be.
wasn't right. It wasn't meant to be. I feel like what I appreciate is just that, again, we're not making the hasty decision because there's pressure from the public or from the media, or even the
Right.
league, like, to be back on top. Like, things don't happen overnight. Greatness does not happen overnight, and you don't rebuild a team and a culture that's been kind of down in the dumps for so many years.
Yeah,
it happens. It happens gradually, and that's,
and I don't think that Westbrook was necessarily like the fix. Yes,
right.
obviously we would have had the offense and just all his overall style of play, but I don't know. I don't know how good of a fit, long term, and talking about franchise, thinking years ahead in the franchise. I don't know. I don't know how smart that
But
move would have
but I
been.
warmed up to the idea. I was
Yeah.
a little disappointed to hear that he had signed.
That he had been traded.
I mean, traded. Sorry. Well, he signed with them. Signed, traded. But those small discrepancies make a difference, though. So it was right. He wasn't a free agent, that I know, but he ended up signing with was it Washington?
Yeah, being traded to
Traded
Washington.
for John Wall. I think that it could have worked out if they did it in the right way. I feel you could have got you could have found a way to get him and Obi to work out. And no, he wouldn't be the long-term guy, but I think that would have still been a good trade. It would bring that heart, hustle, that
yes.
grit and grind. And one thing about this team is, no matter what, whether it's we need to be relevant in the next 2 seasons. No, I know that's just basically saying like, oh, we just talked about the whole patience in that. We can't preach patience that much longer. No, I'm not saying we're gonna go like blow up this team and that.
No, but like
we
you said,
need
relevant.
if there's gotta be, if we're gonna be last place in the league again, or 13th,
Yeah, no, we can't.
12th place.
Yeah, no, we need to show way more.
We need to no, that doesn't mean Coach Tibbs is gonna get fired and we're gonna trade RJ and Obi, but we need to find a way to build a better team, whether that's getting some better complementary pieces, whether that's but like we need, if we see ourselves at the trade deadline like that, I think that no, you don't go panic in that, but you need to go be like, hey, enough is enough. Just let's just get some complementary pieces for them, and we'll see what happens, and if we'll see if we're a 9th or 8th seed, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I feel like if the right moves, if the right
Present
package presents itself, then yes,
they're gonna
should pull the trigger.
Yeah.
But I, again, am not rushing to make any huge moves. I would love to see this young team come together, gel, and be a little, phenomenon. I would love that to happen.
Right. I mean, nobody's, like you said, nobody's expecting us to, jump ahead and be
make the playoffs, next season.
But
maybe the play-in.
Key word though, we need to be relevant though. We need to be showing progress. We can't keep being a lottery team every season. Like
we can't have the losing culture.
Right, exactly. But that's what I think. That's I don't want to speak too soon, but you gotta have faith. That's a part of being loyal to a team.
Of course.
Believing in not all of their moves, because like I said, they're not above criticism. But when you see an organization making the right moves, putting the right people in the right places, you gotta just you roll with it. You roll with it, and we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we do need to again put out consistent effort every night. That's where I draw my line. If I think
most Knicks fans too.
If we see effort being put out, and granted, no, we don't want to continue to take moral losses. You're like, moral victories. Like,
we're tired of those, but they do count.
But they count. They count. But I just want to see effort. I want to see effort every single night, and I guarantee you that most of those will turn into wins. If you're looking at the film, if you're looking at what you did, not getting over screens, not taking that the charge, not diving on the floor for that ball, all those things, those intangibles, those make the difference. And I think I'm praying that this team brings that, because they're all young and they're all hungry and they all want to be here. So I think we're gonna get that. I think we're gonna get that.
Yeah. For the season that let's let's stop the tank for Cade train already.
Oh,
That's
Oh my God.
already.
Yeah,
Don't even get
I'm
me
not a
started.
tank.
I know
I'm
Cade
I was never.
coming.
Yeah, we were
I'm
never
never
a fan
tankers.
of. We were never a tank for Zion. Like, no, we're not. No, we
That's
don't.
not my.
We're
That's
We're
not
pro
not
our
wins.
about
MO.
tanking.
Pro wins.
That's
That's
right.
right. That's
That's
right.
right.
That's
That's
right.
right.
I'd
Yep.
much rather be in that play-in tournament as the 10th seed
Then
than be in
Then
the
in a
lottery
lottery
again.
again.
yeah,
Even if we can still get the first pick, even if we're in that play-in tournament. So hey,
true.
but
Yeah,
We'll
based
see.
on the, we never have that good of
I
luck. Even
know.
when we
we
have the higher percentage, we always fall down.
It's
But
all good, but we're
you
gonna
never
work with what
know.
we
You
had.
never know, right?
I mean, look, we
but
got Obi. Who
Right.
expected to get Obi at 8?
True.
But it
yeah,
happened. So anything's possible.
man, that was a fun night when
That was a fun
I
night.
was so shocked that night.
I know. We all were. We all were.
Then we dropped the Spanish guy, and then it was like, oh God,
Then we
no.
thought all
But
was
then we
doomed
got
because we
quickly.
never heard of him
we had never
before.
heard of him. We were like,
But then the
oh, here
Knicks were,
goes the Knicks.
but the Knicks
Then
were
we
back
got
in the back.
quickly.
Yep.
Wheeling and dealing.
Wheeling and dealing, and so I like the moves that we made. I have faith in this new culture. You know, the people who are here, these players, from the front office to the players. I'm enthused. I'm hopeful, and I'm excited more than ever.
Yeah, we can't wait. We can't wait. It's gonna be
Of
a
course.
good season nonetheless.
Yes.
What's like the best case, worst case, and expected for you?
I mean, best case is we make the playoffs. Worst case is we are the worst team in the league, and what's expected to be middle.
I'm hoping, like you said, that 9 or 10
Yeah.
seed. I think that's what I'm really expecting. Yeah.
Are you
That should be the
that, or are you
goal.
hoping for
Well,
that?
I'm hoping.
I'm
But
expecting
I
to be a
think,
middle of the middle of the pack.
well, yeah, I mean, 10th
Realistically.
seed in the East. I mean, that's pretty middle of the pack.
I guess that's true.
We have to do better. I have to see some progress from last season. So no, I'm not trying to be, one of the 5 worst teams in the league.
No.
No. So I'm
At least 30 wins.
Yes.
Right.
That's fair. At least 30 wins.
Right. That's fair.
30 wins, I'm sold. And I feel that can get you at least to that 10 seed. Maybe. Because this is a
Especially in the
shortened
East.
season.
You never know.
But the East is getting some beasts now, though.
Yeah.
So who knows? Because let me tell you something. Philly is going to be
Washington.
Washington, Boston. I mean, the East is coming on up, but it's still not as strong as the West. So you never know.
The bottom tier of the East is sort of
yeah,
no, they
exactly.
got
So you
Atlanta.
never
They
know.
got
It's anybody's game.
Atlanta is gonna be something this season. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Mr. Trey Young.
But or Orlando, that'll be like a 9 seed, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't see us. I could see us being better than like a team like, and I'm sure the Hornets could make the playoffs in that. I'm sure they could. I can't see us being worse than a team like Chicago or Detroit in that.
Yeah.
I would.
We better not be.
We better not
be. We have some goals, some marks to hit.
Right, and we do
or
have
Cleveland.
we have a future. Right. We're starting to see our future come together before our eyes. So
so we just have to. I mean, again, I know patience is just like one of those things that like we've been told to be patient so many times, so many seasons, but this is truly. I feel like this is truly the season that things are going to slowly turn around for us. Like we have a coach that is huge in fundamentals. We have. I mean, his coaching staff is huge on fundamentals as well. Defense, and our players. They're new, they're young, and hungry,
and
talented. Can't forget that, and super athletic.
Yeah, and when we mean turn around, we need to see at least turn around wins and losses. That's
Absolutely.
the thing. We like the 17-win season that we had in 2019. Yeah, it was promising in that, but it was like there were some promising stuff in that, but you can't point to that team and be like, let's throw out free agency, let's throw out the lottery. But you can't point to that team and be like, without getting free agency or lottery in that involved, can't point to that team and be like, that team, Kevin Knox, Dennis Smith Jr., Frank Ntilikina, with their leading guys on the team, that team is gonna be special in a couple of years. No, you can't. You can't point to that.
Right.
Now you could hopefully you could definitely point to a guy in Obi Toppin and
RJ.
and
RJ and
RJ and
And
me.
Mitch.
I'm still skeptical about Mitch and like
Really?
I'm not skeptical about Mitch. I love Mitch, but I'd
Okay,
say
yeah.
like I
Well,
don't know what I don't know. Is he gonna be like a Tyson Chandler, DeAndre Jordan, or is he gonna be a JaVale McGee? That's what I don't know.
Now that's interesting. I honestly think he's gonna be his own type of player.
Yeah.
And Mitch already has his own style of playing that I've never seen anybody play like him. I mean, he has his own little quirks about him. But I think Mitch is going to be a beast. I mean,
he's gonna
he
be a
came
beast.
out, like we said.
Nobody even
Nobody
expected that much
expected him
out
to
of him
be
because he was the late second round pick.
Late second round pick. And I mean, then there was like, a little controversy with him not going to college and blah, blah, blah. But he came and see, he's somebody who to me, it just comes naturally. Imagine with extra work put in.
And the right mentor.
Oh my God. Watch out for Mitch.
Mitch is he's gonna do big things. And I hope he does it on the Knicks and we don't.
Obi's gonna be Amari Stoudemire with no injuries and no fire extinguishers.
Can't forget that.
Right.
No.
Love Amari.
I know, number one.
He has the same number.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm getting my Obi jersey. I know
you
jersey.
are.
You already know. Luke. You gotta come fresh to death. We already know how you do. But this was so much fun, Luke. Thank you so much for having us.
I always enjoy having you guys on.
Thank you for having us.
We
love
talking with you.
We're proud of you, and we want to see you do big things too, Luke.
Okay. Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So send our love to the fans too.
Yeah. Follow them at Knicks Omnifan on Instagram. And you guys are gonna have an opening night event. So if anyone wanna come join us in that, I'll definitely be in the house. So if any of you guys want to join us in that, come on in.
Yeah, we'll definitely have the
info.
It's a big
party.
Yeah.
Luke already can tell you how we do prizes, we do trivia. It's just a big old
it's a party.
Big old party. It's a big family, and that's how we do.
Yep.
Thank you, Luke.
Thank you, Luke.
Bye.
Bye. Go Knicks.